Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to install this flex plate. Today I received the ELEGOO Jupiter and this is its build plate. Now the build plate is perfectly fine. It's sandblasted, so it has a nice texture. The only thing is if you want to do prints and you want to do them fast, then there's always some stabbing going on. Apparently the flex plate will solve this problem by just peeling it off, give it a wiggle and it just pops off. So this was from a Kickstarter. The price is, I think, this thing. And I get 2 plates and 1 magnetic sheet to put on this build plate. This is what the packaging looks like. It's a bit squashed, so I think the packaging could be way better than this. We get a dear supporter card. This is from the Kickstarter. I joined in late. The Kickstarter was already done, but I contacted him on Facebook and he was eager to include me into the Kickstarter. Now, I applied for the Kickstarter with the 1 sheet and the 2 plates. So I have 2 plates. They come packaged like this. We have the plastic corner pieces protecting the sides. And a nice feature about it, we have some gaps over here for the peeling action, and there will be almost no resin pooling up on the sides. So this comes with the installation instructions. So we will have to re-level the machine after we added the magnetic base. Alright, installing it. I already give it a good clean with some solvents to get all the machining greases out of it. Now the magnetic sheet is covered with some 3M tape. We have to let it cure for about 72 hours. That's the whole freaking week for me, so there will be no printing this week, I'm afraid. But after that we should see some amazing results. About the magnetic sheet. The magnetic sheet is not the normal sheet you put on your fridge. You have the orientation of the magnets switching around, so the plate is magnetized from a lot of different directions and thus sticking better on this thing, apparently. So I'm going to test that out. So this is the print vat, and if we take the magnets, oh yeah, we have all the room in the world to put in this sheet or flex plate. So it looks like this plate has more room for a bigger screen, I guess. Well, that's not for this video. I'm gonna peel off a little bit. I'm gonna stick it on, but not all the way. And then I'm going to gently peel off the tape. From the other side. Now I have to wait for 48 hours, but we can already start and testing the magnetic peel forces of the plate. Let's put it on. Whoa, this is some very strong magnet. God damn it. Now aligning it is a bit tricky. Maybe it's because this is my first time. Yeah, after a few times I think you will get used to it. We got the flex plate on. It's looking very nice. The engraving, it's a laser etching, I think. The etching is not very deep, you cannot feel it. It's very, very minute. And this gives the resin something to grab on, I guess. Now I'm going to let it rest for 48 hours, but for you, just a few seconds. The build plate had time to cure. Now I'm going to give it a final wipe with some rubbing alcohol, and then it's time to start our first print. I tried it on the 4 corners of the build plate and they all came out very nice. I did some calibrations and the calibration is almost spot on. And now I'm trying my very first mega print. So yeah, after 9 hours we will see if we have some fails or we have our first successful mega print. So the MagFlexPlate had its first successful run, and it has been a little bit of trouble, but it's mostly finding out the good settings. So I used the regular settings and they all came loose, even though that the markings of the etching were on the back of the print, they all came loose. So my solution was to increase the bottom exposure to 50 seconds, which is way too long, but it looks like the plate really likes it to get a high exposure. And now it's just a matter of flexing it off like this. And it's released. Now the only thing I would say to Moreno is that you have squares without etching, and I would just etch all the squares that they all give the proper grip. But yeah, it's doing its job. Very nice. This is the raft, and you can even see the MagFlexPlate logo and the etching. You can see it in the print. Final conclusion of the MagFlexPlate, it's doing its job. The only tricky part is getting the initial exposure right to make the print stick. But I think if you up the exposure, I did it for about 50 seconds for the first 2 layers, then you should be good to go. And if you are still having trouble, you can always turn the plate around and sand the back and go for a 220 or a 400 grit. So this is me from the future, and I have done the sanding part, and I must say that if you compare the etched side and the sanded side, I way prefer the sanded side, because now I can print stuff like this. This is a lithophane, and you cannot print this lithophane with the regular etched side. But if you sand it with the back, I did this with the 220 grits, now everything sticks amazingly. And as you can see, it just releases just like this. So if you guys are having problems with the etched side, no worries, you can just sand the back and now you can print some awesome lithoframes. So you have the normal sanded flex plate. Now if you want to buy these, you cannot buy these in any shop, but the original creator is launching a new Kickstarter, I think for the Anycubic M3. And he told me that if you want to buy the Jupiter plates, you can just go to the Kickstarter and you can buy them there. Alright, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one.